Welcome back to this next episode of the Home Stretch podcast, your go-to place for life's biggest milestones, starting with the home buying journey, which I have so much experience on. Today's episode is a little bit more juicy because we're going to be talking all about LISAs, lifetime ISAs, because we had our fair share of hiccups when it came to our LISA, and some really good pointers that you can definitely take note of and not do the same as us. I wanted to do this podcast for a while now because I feel like this is a really simple, easy thing to have known, and I wouldn't have lost about 350 quid, and also lost an extra £1,000 that I thought was going to get put towards my house. So I'm going to be deep diving into what a LISA is, what it can help towards, understanding a few of the T's and C's. Obviously things can change in years to come, and right now it's 2025, but this is kind of all about LISAs, things to watch out for, and the benefits of using a LISA. Like, they are incredible. The government is literally giving you free money, but I will definitely go into that. And also going to dive deep into understanding the communication side of things with you and your solicitor, especially when you come to take your LISA money out. So let's break down what LISA is, how to use it, and everything in between. So hopefully you have a smoother process if you decide to use one yourself, because they are really, really great for first-time buyers, like buying your first house. So let's start from the top about what is a LISA and how is it used. So a LISA stands for Lifetime ISA. Now, this is a government scheme, and it basically means that for every pound you put in, the government will put 25p towards your first house. Now, there's a few kind of T's and C's about LISAs. For example, you have to be aged between 18 and 39 years old to use a LISA. You can save only up to £4,000 for the year. So that means your government bonus can't be more than £1,000 every year. So if you've been saving your LISA for 5 years, that's £5,000 from the government getting put towards your first home. It's a no-brainer. I honestly think it's like the best thing for first-time buyers to save like towards their first house. So we obviously chose a LISA because they are amazing. You save a lot of money in a fairly short space of time. £1,000 a year ain't that bad. If you're saving for like 3 years and you use up the £4,000 limit, then that £3,000 will literally pay towards either your deposit, your solicitor fees, like anything about your first house. It's perfect. Like, it is such a great scheme to get you on the property ladder quicker. But there is a few caveats to a LISA that I will dive into because I made some mistakes. Going back to our personal experience, so Nathan had his LISA open for probably like 5 or 6 years. So he's had his for ages. He's been using it wisely, saving X, Y, and Z. So when we got together, he told me about it. He knows like all the good stuff about saving and with money and things like that. He spoke to me about it, and I thought, okay, great, I will set up a LISA. So I set mine up in April 2024. Now, we started viewing houses in June 2024. So it was a few months, that's fine. But I did not know a few things, and I will dive into that. Before I go off topic, just wanted to confirm that a lifetime ISA is very different to a cash ISA and a stocks and shares ISA, and you can have these open as well as a lifetime ISA as well. It's not just one or the other type thing. So here's where things started to get a little bit messy in terms of a LISA and for my situation, because Nathan was absolutely fine. This was about me. So it came to about October. So we have already been going through the process for a good few months. You know, we knew the house that we were getting, and we started discussing deposits and things like that. And at the start, you know, we said to our solicitor that we have LISAs, and he never asked how long we've had them open for, and that's fine. But that is something that I should have been aware of. So when it came to discussing the LISAs and discussing how the process works with taking them out, I thought I would read the T's and C's. I actually can't remember how I even found out about it. It was either online or maybe our solicitor mentioned something, I can't remember, but something about it had to be open for a whole year before you use it. So I thought, right, I'll double check when I did open it, but I'm pretty sure it was this year. So I checked back and I was like, right, it's April. I can't use it. So even though I saved that £4,000 for that year and could have had that extra £1,000, well, I could see it in my money box, I wasn't allowed to use it because my LISA hadn't been open for a whole year. So it came to November when we were discussing starting to take LISAs out and things like that, which I will get onto as well. I was then stuck with the decision as to whether to keep my LISA in and not use it at all or withdraw that money out because I had like £4,000 in there. I needed that £4,000 towards my house. So for me, I was like, I'm going to have to take the money out. I'm going to have to. So I then took the money out. And when you do that, and you're not using it towards a house or retirement, because you can use it for retirement too. Sorry, I should have actually mentioned that at the start. You can either use this money for your pension, like when you retire. I don't even know what the age is and stuff now, or towards your first house. There's only 2 ways you can use it. If not, you have to take that money out. And if you do take that money out, you get penalised and you have to pay some money. Well, you lose money basically. So you give the government back some money as well as the money that you thought you were going to get from them, which is just so funny, isn't it? That happened in November and I was like, look, I'm going to have to take it out because if we're looking at taking out money for our deposit soon, I need that towards my deposit. So I took it out. I basically got stung with £350, give or take, that I had to pay. So I didn't gain any money. I actually lost money. And that was because I was silly enough not to read the T's and C's that you can't use it within your first year of opening the account. If we were looking at houses the following year, it would have been absolutely fine. But because I didn't, I couldn't use it. So silly mistake from me. I actually made a TikTok video about it and it went like quite viral and I looked like an absolute state. So it just so typical that the one video that I look awful in had to get like 2 million views. It was amazing. But I think it helped a lot of other people look at their LISAs and people that were in the house buying process that said, I'm glad that you did that video because we checked and ours hadn't been open for a year. So we lost money too, but I'm glad we knew about it now. So in a way it helped, but yeah, it was an annoying mistake that I made and I should have read the T's and C's more carefully. I think I opened it up really, really quick and just didn't even think to look. Or maybe we just didn't think we were going to move in within a year. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But please don't make the same mistake as me. So when you are looking at banks and stuff that do LISAs. So for example, I went with Moneybox. Nathan went with Skipton, I believe. When that is the case, just read the T's and C's very carefully. And they might change. Like this is right now, 2025. It might change in years to come. So it's good to bear that in mind if you are thinking about opening one up. Basically, if you're looking to buy a house after a year, maybe more towards like in 3 years' time, I would maybe think about opening up a LISA or just looking into it because it's a fairly okay amount of money that you could be putting into savings every single month. And then you've got to think you're getting £1,000 back a year if you're going up to the £4,000 limit. So it is worth it and you're getting free money from the government. I mean, yes, please. So another thing that stung us with the LISA and the LISA process, when it came to November 2024, we were in discussions with our solicitor about taking out our LISA. Now, we were to believe that we were going to be potentially exchanging soon. Now, we should have been a bit more weary to the fact that we were nowhere near exchanging or completing. The sellers and the new build they were moving into had loads of issues with paperwork, build zone warranty, buildings regulation certificates not being provided, X, Y, and Z. There were so many issues, and we actually didn't move into a house until 3 months after this. So come November, we were ready to move in. All of our paperwork was done. We were set. So for those 3 months after, we were literally just waiting. It was so frustrating. We took the money out and it was now waiting in this limbo. So basically, after the funds have been released, they have a waiting period of 90 days. So that basically means that if you don't complete within those 90 days, then you have to request to have them released again. And that's when you have to wait for HMRC, and it was long and it took longer than expected, of course. It was a bit of a kerfuffle. Anyways, we took the LISA out way too early. That is the main point that I'm saying here. Obviously, listen to the advice from your solicitor. No one was really aware of how far behind the sellers were, like to move into their new build or to get these documents from their property developer. We were crazily behind. We shouldn't have taken out a LISA out then, because the actual process of taking out a LISA, I think they give it up to 30 days, but honestly, ours took like 4 days. And it might vary from bank to bank, but ours did not take long at all. I say ours, it's Nathan's, but in our situation. So don't worry about that delaying things too much, because usually they're really, really quick. I mean, there might be certain circumstances that it does take longer than usual. So maybe be aware of that 30-day kind of like threshold. But I think you just have to only do it when you're very close to exchanging. So when you know that inquiries are all back and you're not waiting 3 months like we did. So this was the funny thing. It's not really that funny, but it's funny looking back at it now. When the LISA money was obviously taken out, the 90 days came up nearly. We were waiting on a few more things to come back from the property developer in terms of like documents. He came back with the documents, amazing, fab, we can actually continue and nearly finish the sale. But it was like 2 days after the LISA 90-day extension was like 90 days that it was being released was there. So we had to then reapply for the LISA monies, and that meant that there was just this whole commotion of stuff, and I need to go back on my TikToks and look at the videos because I documented the whole thing. But basically, we had to wait for HMRC to basically confirm that it was okay for us to go for the LISA money again, and that should only usually take a day or two, but for us it just somehow took a week and a half. So that was an extra week and a half waiting for the whole house buying process to go through. So that was really fun as well, actually, but things happen and you have to laugh about it, but I was definitely ready to cry. So just being aware of when you're about to exchange and complete, that's kind of like around when I would take the LISA money out again, if we were doing it all over again. And just listen to the advice of your solicitor and make sure that they're aware of the other parties or the chain, and make sure like the whole chain is basically ready to go, because you don't want to have like what happened to us happen to you, where you take your LISA money out and you have to wait the 90 days and then you have to reapply for it. And we were chatting to the bank, we were trying to talk to HMRC, and they were like, we don't know what we were talking about. And we were like, oh my God, no one is getting back to us and no one knows what's going on. Is the LISA, where is the LISA? Where's the money? Like, what's happening? It was this whole thing, and it did come through eventually. Nathan got the email and we were literally ready to exchange the week after. So that was all fab. So what are the 3 main lessons that we have learned with our lifetime ISA that you need to know? First is, do not request the funds too early like we did. And even though your solicitor can give you recommendations, you need to be aware of where you are in that house buying journey to actually know if you're going to be using it soon. So like, we obviously wasn't really aware of how far behind the property developer was. So you need to get a full overview and know that you're going to be really close to exchanging and completing. That's when you take it out. Personally, that's what I would do if I was doing it all over again. Number 2 is not opening a LISA if you think you're going to be moved into a house within that year. So I don't feel like we knew we was going to move into this house earlier, but in hindsight, I should have just either opened one up when I was a little bit younger or just not even bothered at all, because I lost out on a bit of money. And I also lost the extra grand that I thought I was getting. So I had to get those funds as well. So just be really aware of when you set it up, if you do set it up. Be aware of when you're thinking about moving into a house, because if it's soon, there's no point in opening up a LISA. You might as well do something else, like, I don't know, something else, savings account or something. And number 3 is kind of what I said just now, but setting up a LISA earlier when I was younger, because if I did this when I was like 21, 22, 23, I would have so much money now. So the earlier you do this, the better. And if you're just getting into the house buying process, definitely look into lifetime ISAs if you're quite young, or if you're not planning on moving until like quite a few years ahead, because you can really use the government bonus to your advantage. Like, at the end of the day, this is free money. This is a free grand every single year. If you can make it up to that 4 grand maximum limit, use it. Like, that's why it's there. It's to help people get on the property ladder. And I would just focus on that as being my prime source of savings for a house, because if you're saving 4 grand a year, you're getting an extra 1 grand from the government. That's 5 grand a year. In 4 years, you'll have 20 grand towards a house. Like, that's not that bad. And I feel like that's a bit more manageable and it's doable. It's so doable. So yeah, I definitely think shop around. I mean, I used Moneybox. They were amazing. And Nathan used Skipton. And to be fair to Skipton, when all of this issues was going on with the LISA, they was helping us out loads. They were on the online chat. We spoke to them on the phone a few times. Like, they were really communicative and they kept us updated. Like, they were really, really good because obviously we wanted to get the exchange done as soon as possible. They really, really helped with that. So I think Skipton's a good one to look into. But yeah, I used Moneybox and they were great, but I wasn't able to fully use them. So just another little tip, if you are looking at withdrawing your LISA funds, just communicate that to your solicitor and they'll give you some tips and advice on how to do that. And I'm pretty sure to do it, all you do is send an email, or like you let your bank know that you're with, like, let's say Moneybox or Skipton, that you're looking to buy your first home, you're going to use this LISA money towards that. What is the process of taking out the monies, basically? And it's quite a smooth process. I think you fill out a little bit of a form, you give your solicitor details to them, and they'll basically liaise with your solicitor after that. So you don't even really have to do much. And like I said, I think it's supposed to take 30 days, but realistically for us, it literally took 4 days or something. And I've heard from quite a few other people that it was really quick as well. So don't be scared about the 30 days. Like, generally it is a lot quicker than that. So the pros and cons of a LISA. The pros: 25% government bonus every year. Amazing, perfect, we love free money. Number 2, it's a great way to save. If you're bad with money and you feel like you dip into your savings, using a lifetime ISA means you cannot touch it. So it is a great way to save money towards your first house without feeling the need to dip into your savings or like have the urge to. And 3, it works so well with first time buyers. Like I said, you're literally getting 25% free money, whatever you put in, from the government. So use it wisely. If you can't do the whole $4,000 a year, do $2,000. That is literally still some money back from the government. Like, you're still getting 500 quid. Every little helps. When you're buying your first home, I'm telling you now, what you pay towards like things adds up so fast. Solicitor fees, ours was like $2,000, like 2,250 or something. You can literally use a lifetime ISA to help you pay all of these things off and use it towards your deposit. Like, it is such a good way of saving money towards your first house. The cons is there is some strict rules with it, obviously. Read the T's and C's, please. Please, please, please. I did forget to mention actually that one of the T's and C's is you can only use it on houses that are £450,000 or lower. So if you're looking at houses at the moment and it's over 450k, you cannot use a lifetime ISA on it. So if you're living in London and you're looking for houses around there, or anywhere down south really, because the house prices here are crazy, but you won't be able to use your LISA towards that. So that is something to bear in mind too. I should have really mentioned that earlier on in the video, but totally forgot about it, like I did with opening up a LISA within a year. Another con is that if you withdraw it early for any reason, you don't just lose the government bonus, but you also get a penalty. So the money you've put in, you won't get all of that back. Like, exhibit A right here. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You need to plan ahead and stay focused if you want a lifetime ISA. And number 3 is that the timing of the withdrawal can be a little bit tricky. So obviously with our situation, it was a little bit different. So it was 3 months worth, but just kind of take the 30 days into consideration. And like I said, it does generally get taken out quite quick, but don't risk it and do it all last minute. Like, speak to your solicitors. They will advise you on the best course of action and they'll just know what's best. So that wraps up today's episode all about LISAs. I mean, I never thought I'd be doing a chat like this about LISAs, but here we are. I obviously had a lot of experiences with the LISA, bad ones, so to speak, but Nathan obviously got some great things from it. So there is pros and cons. I think long-term, amazing, short-term, no. Like, just don't do it. But yeah, I really hope something in there was useful and you've learned something that you will take away and don't make the same mistakes as we did. I think lifetime ISAs are amazing and I think they're a great opportunity for first time buyers to be able to save money and also get free money in return from the government. It's a great scheme and, you know, it's obviously helped us and, well, helped Nathan put money towards our first house, but it's so worth it. If you're looking for years to come for your first house, then definitely look into a lifetime ISA. So thank you so much much for watching, guys. Please let me know in the comments if you have used the Lifetime ISA or you're planning on using one, or even if you've got any questions about it. I mean, I'm not a professional, but I've also gone through this as an experience. So if you want any kind of advice that I can give from my personal experience, I'll be able to do that. If you are absolutely loving the Home Stretch podcast at the moment, please do give me a follow, subscribe, a like, a comment. All the love goes so far, and I honestly just truly appreciate every single one of you for listening and watching, and hopefully taking some things that I'm saying on board, because all I'm doing is sharing my experiences in the hope that it helps you or someone else too. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you on the next episode.